Hi, everybody. Again, it's B. Sedgwick from Spirit Moxie. Again, we're doing an introduction to Corner of Calm. And today is it's December 15th. It's like the middle of the month of a beautiful time of year, but for many people, a little bit hectic. And it's combined with this last year being for a lot of people, a little unsettling. So what I wanted to do today maybe it's the same thing I always do, but I'd like to suggest a little game we can play, sort of to get us to the end of the year and in preparation for the next one. And part of it is what I always say, which is, to remember to breathe. When you're in all the hassle and all the things that are going on, just remember to sort of go into your breath a little bit, and that automatically calms us down. There are lots of different breathing techniques, which we won't go into now. But the game, I'm going to start with the hard part of it. The hard version, might as well start with hard and go to easy rather than the other way around, is to think of something this year that didn't go well. And it can be everything. I could a friend has died, et cetera, et cetera. But I'll take just basically my last summer, where I was dealing with a fractured wrist all summer and spent most of it on the sofa. Not exactly feeling sorry for myself, but feeling a little bit lost. And when you take this, whatever your particular event is, what I'd like you to do is look at it and then think, so what am I grateful for? What happened? What was sort of a gratitude thing that happened in the midst of all that horror, or all that sadness, or all that depression, or all that angst? And I want to warn you that it's a dangerous thing, because once you start going, for me at least, it was hard to stop. The first thing that came up is somebody actually felt sorry enough for me that they paid somebody, they negotiated with somebody to come clean my apartment. Now, admittedly, the apartment's only about as big as a postage stamp, but I didn't have any cleaning supplies and I couldn't use them if I had. That was still one of the best gifts anybody's ever given me. But from that, there were other things, like I found a new game to play on my phone that I'm had became obsessed with. And I probably wouldn't have found time to go and look for that if it hadn't been part of that whole thing. So take that sort of awful thing, whatever it is, and try to find out whatever however tiny, however big piece of gratitude that might be under it, and just hold that for a while and figure out why it's a grateful kind of thing. Maybe it made you look at something differently. Maybe it kept you from doing something that you were really grateful not to have to do. The flip side of that is find something that was really, really fabulous this year. And do the same thing. And I'll do something really sort of amazing. It's like I finally actually did give a dinner party in my apartment. I really could cook again. I could do all that. So I was grateful I could cook again. And I invited people that like food. And I don't know how anybody listening to this is, but your friends are like my friends. They all have things they don't eat. But these people do. And so I didn't have to check with them to ask, like, what shouldn't I cook? And it was a basic meal. It wouldn't have served for several people I know. And we did all the drinks. It wasn't really elaborate. We started with cheese. We had a main thing. They accidentally brought dessert because their daughter had handed them some. But we also had the chocolate that I was going to do, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And I'm just grateful to know I can still pull that off. And I'm grateful that I'm right that this apartment wants company. So at some point I'll go back farther in the year, because that only happened last week, but it was definitely this year. And there are other pieces. There's some ways people have responded to political events that I'm grateful for, and there are the events that I didn't like much. And there have been you all, you all that listen to Corner of Calm and go on this, and sort of the little stories that come out through that in it. So play with it. When things seem real hard, it doesn't take 5 minutes.